Welcome to MetalVice in 666. I'm your host, Brian, joined with the other host,
Karen.
And we're going to talk about solo artists, or I don't know, just
Solo
a brief little
artist
conversation.
bands.
Yeah, we're just going to have a brief conversation about that. So we were putting the description together for our Vimic video where we went out to LA and saw Vimic, and Wednesday 13 was the opener for them. Joey had some, connection with Wednesday 13, through the Murder Dolls and all of that. They're good friends and all that. So when I was putting the description together, I called out that Wednesday 13 played his solo music plus some Murder Doll stuff. And you review all the shit because I'm a shitty speller, dyslexia and all that shit. And so I have you proofread everything, and you kind of stopped when you're reading. It was like, is it really a solo? Because he was with a band, with his band and everything. And just a brief conversation about that, because it's really confusing to me also. Like when I think of like Wednesday 13 and Rob Zombie are two individuals that come to mind first and foremost of like their individual artists. Their name is Wednesday 13 or Rob Zombie, the name of the band also, but they're a solo band or their solo work because Rob Zombie was in White Zombie. Yeah. And then went and did Rob Zombie, his solo stuff. But he's got a band with him, and it's like, but it's not like, it's not just one person in the band, it's the band as a whole. So how's that work? And we just want to have a brief little conversation about that, because it is a little weird to me to think about like Rob Zombie and Wednesday 13 in particular, as I said, as well, it is their solo stuff, but there's a band. And I don't know. I've already said that. I'm kind of rambling now. Yeah,
but even like when I was proofreading that, I couldn't even like really think about it any other way. But now, just as you've been talking for 2 minutes, it's been like, oh, Alice Cooper. Or
Alice Cooper.
We saw a lot of now I can't even think of their names, but like we went to some like classic rock artists, and it's like their name, but then they have
Stevie
a band.
Nicks.
Well, yeah, Stevie Nicks.
Yeah, I know you hate. Like, this artist wrote this for me. And
no, I wasn't saying that.
No,
I
know.
Hate her for that.
Yeah, I know.
But that's not what I was really referencing. But yeah, like, I mean, it's like there's bands that play, and sometimes it's like so and so and the whatever,
and
like
some band, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Bruce Springsteen and the East Street Band.
Yeah.
Like something like that, right? I was we have a couple of vinyl here. Wednesday 13, I was looking at this vinyl, and inside it does say, like, it lists all the members of the band. Wednesday 13, lead vocals, rhythm guitar, Roman something or other. Sorry, I'm just quickly looking at the Roman Sermon, lead guitar, Jack Tankeresi on rhythm guitar again, and backing vocals and whatnot. Troy Dobler on bass and vocals, and then Jason Shakes West on drums. And then it does say produced and directed by Wednesday 13, recorded, blah, 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 all music and lyrics written by Wednesday 13. So, like, did you write the drum parts though, or did you hire out to do the drums? And that's part of where it's, I think it is the band, but you hire out session musicians and you pay them for their time, and you sort of like pay them that one time up front, like, cool, you wrote a little drum bit, put it into the song, but technically it's my song. I directed it. I sort of produced it. I said, like, this is, my music.
Yeah.
Rob Zombie, real quick, before talking too much, at the back of this particular one as well, it does say, again, listing off all the band members, Rob, John, Piggy, and Ginger. Yeah. Gingerfish. And then it does say all lyrics by Rob Zombie, all music by Rob Zombie and John 5 and Zeus, who was the producer on this. So again, I think it's, it sounds like John 5 got writing credits, but again, the other drum bits and whatnot, that's probably paid out session music and whatnot. And even thinking about like Metallica, not all the members are credited on all of the songs for having written that song. It's only who sort of, was the main bit of that song who sort of gets the credit for it. So I don't know. I think,
but it's still Metallica.
It's still Metallica as the band, right? Yeah. But I don't know. It's sort of getting into that realm of like who gets credited for the music and who gets credited for the writing credits and whatnot. And I think that's sort of where like a solo artist is they sort of take all the credit for it, even though there are other people contributing to the song. It's sort of their session musicians or whatnot. They're hired to do a bit and then they're done.
Yeah. Gosh, now I have so many thoughts going through my head, because now I'm just thinking of Ghost with Tobias Forge.
Yep.
And how he's the face, or the puppy, or the papa is the face.
Yep.
We always say poppy, but papa is the face of the band. And then it's like the faceless ghouls in the background or whatever they are now. They're still ghouls, right?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I know that they kind of changed personas, and I know that was a thing, or we've read articles of like back in the day, like that was a huge thing, is like they got no credit for anything.
The original ghouls like ended up suing him because they're like, we helped write the music. We need to have, you know, the same stake in it that you do. You weren't the only creator of this band, Ghost.
Yeah.
And then it went to court, and it turns out like the court did say like, no, it was Tobias. So I don't know how much I agree with that. I don't agree with it. You know what I mean?
But in that case, it's like the band is Ghost.
Yes.
And this is where my mind's probably just different, because it's like Rob Zombie, the band is Rob Zombie, even though he's Rob Zombie.
Right.
Like, I don't know. It's just so weird.
It is weird.
I don't know.
And it's a little more weird. Well, I don't know if it's a little more weird, but like, yeah, here's where I'm getting stuck to, because I think Slipknot, what I've heard is they're structured very similar to like this, where not all the members of the band are necessarily
They're not stakeholders
in the band, right?
Yeah.
Like they're in the band, but like they can be fired at any time
Yeah.
because they are session musicians. They're basically
Yeah.
hired on to do a bit, and then once they're done, we've seen this with the drummer, like with Elo coming in and whatnot. So you can see people come in and out as the band, or I think it's basically Sean who basically runs the band. It's Sean and Corey, I think, are the only two who have like a stake in the band, basically, at this point.
I think so. Yeah.
I don't know
We're
for
kinda
sure.
Talking, so that we don't know too much about, but
Similar thing where it's
Yeah.
like there's the whole band with other members in the band that contribute to the music. So if they get writing credits, I think then that pays into royalties and all of that. I don't know, it's just an interesting concept to me to think of Rob Zombie as a solo artist, but he's not just a solo artist. There's a band behind him, and he's not. He might be. There are some people out there who are very talented who can write all the songs, you know, and all the instruments. I don't think there's that many people who can do all the instruments and compose everything, and then just hire out like, hey, I wrote this drum bit, now you go play it.
yeah, maybe.
So I mean, it could be. I could be wrong there, but I do think
Yeah.
they're sort of hired on to do it. So it's just a weird concept for me to think about them as a solo artist.
Now I'm even thinking like pop artists, because they're solo.
They
But I mean,
are. That one's a
do
little
they,
different
like,
to me.
or I don't know. We've never been to a pop artist concert, but like, do they have just backing tracks, or?
I think it's a lot of backing tracks. Some of them I think do have bands as well.
Bands too.
Like I don't know who, but some do have bands.
Yeah.
I know some artists, especially pop artists, I believe.
I know we haven't
speaking out of
we
tongue
have
here.
not been to a pop concert, a rap concert, anything like
But
that.
I think there's like one or two writers who write most of the music and
Okay.
end up writing all the music or all the melodies and whatnot, and then basically sell the music to the artists to go out there and perform
Okay.
that song. I think that's how that works in pop
Well, I
music.
know like boy band music was that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's all sort of rinse and repeat anyway.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like, how difficult is it to do that? I think the good pop artists are the ones who sort of stretch the boundaries or try something new or different, sort of like Lady Gaga did with the Fame Monster. I can think about, like, to me anyway, that was new and fresh and something I wasn't expecting, and it grew on me. But like most pop, I don't like, except
Yeah.
for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, I know we focus very, very, very heavy on metal. We don't dabble very often. Some rock, but
Yeah.
we don't dabble in anything else. But it'd be interesting to kind of understand how other artists work. And I'm sure there's other bands that, you know, like, I mean, I brought up Alice Cooper right when we started, because I'm like, oh wait, that's another
Yeah.
one. Probably because we saw him with Rob Zombie a couple of years ago.
Robert
But-
Plant was in Led Zeppelin, and then he broke away and did his own thing. It's
Yeah.
so weird to me. That's all
Yeah.
I'm saying is it's
It is, yeah.
like, you're a solo artist. I get that, but you're also sort of not, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird concept being a
Yeah.
solo artist with a band behind you type thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And I mean, speaking of Rob Zombie, John 5 left and is now in Motley Crue, right? So I don't know. Going back to the writing credit, there's one part in like the Queen movie where they're getting back together and they're like, all the songs from now on will be written by Queen, not by you, but by the band as a whole.
Yeah.
I like that approach as a band. As somebody who has never been in a band or never written music or anything, I do think that's sort of the most equitable sort of solution of, we are a band, we are a group, we work together on the music.
Yeah.
Even if some maybe pull a little bit more weight than the others, but whatever, like, we are a cohesive group. And I don't know, maybe that's just that band at that time. So again, as somebody who's never been in a band and never written music, that's how I would do it. Anywho, yeah, I don't know, just a quick rambly conversation about solo
I don't
artists.
even know where that really went, but yeah. Just continuing our conversation from the other day.
Yeah, basically. So I don't know. It wasn't very cohesive, but whatever. That's our thoughts on solo artists. And it's, as you can tell,
And we know nothing.
Not that well formed, but something to think about. And I don't know, maybe we'll do another one on these, but probably not. See ya.
Bye.